Should I take alcohol when struggling with anxiety? Why is it that after taking alcohol, I feel worse with my anxiety? I have hang anxiety. That's the question that I want to answer in this particular video. If you're new here, my name is Melly Albright. Albright is an ex-anxiety sufferer who uses her own experience of suffering and recovery to help others who are still struggling. If you have not yet subscribed yet, I will urge you to watch this video up to the end. If you feel like this video is valuable or you want to see more of these videos on your timeline, then kindly hit that subscription button. Otherwise, let's move into the video. So I get this question a lot, like, hey Albert, should I continue taking alcohol with my anxiety? Is it okay to take alcohol? So my opinion, I want to give my opinion, my own experience with alcohol and what I feel is right. If you have watched me for a long period of time on my TikTok, Instagram, on my Facebook, by the way, if you don't follow me on those social media platforms, Anxiety Recovery with Albright is my name on every social media platform. So I always say that I'm a firm believer that anxiety should not stop you from doing anything that you like. Whether it's taking coffee, coffee and alcohol, they kind of, people kind of try to avoid them because they feel like it makes their anxiety worse, which is not true. And I wanna, because this video you're talking about alcohol, I wanna explain why alcohol has no relationship with your anxiety. A lot of people think that, if I'm taking alcohol, if I'm taking coffee and, it's making my anxiety worse, why should I continue taking it? Should I just avoid it? And you know that if you are someone who, is knowledgeable about anxiety, you know that avoidance is one of the things that keeps anxiety sufferers stuck with anxiety. Avoidance is a form of resistance, and what you resist persists, as Carl Jung says. Whatever you resist persists. And if you are out there avoiding anything, avoiding going out, avoiding taking certain foods, avoiding taking certain drinks because you believe they, perpetuate your anxiety, that's not true, and that's one of the reasons why you are stuck with anxiety. So when I started struggling with anxiety, I was using alcohol as a coping mechanism. And this video is not for people who are, first of all, if you are an addict, this video is not for you. I mean, you should, look for ways to quit. I mean, you should go and seek help. I'm not talking to, people who are struggling with alcoholism, people who are addicts, or people who are using alcohol to cope. So when I first started struggling with anxiety, I was using alcohol as a coping mechanism because I didn't understand what was happening. During the day you can be okay, but at night when you are left alone with your thoughts and with your feelings, I always felt like, okay, I can't stand this. Maybe I should take something to, to distract me from how I feel so that I cannot feel how I feel. So I resorted to alcohol, and that is, I should make a video on that one alone. My journey to stopping to drink is just another one. But thank God, my purpose in this world is so much bigger. I didn't get to the stage where I was now, struggling with alcohol. I was now taking out of the sewer because I'm drunk. No. So when I was at the rock bottom stage, I used alcohol to cope, and that is one of the... Do not use alcohol as a way to cope. You will be disappointed. You will end up, now you can't live without alcohol. You will end up, your life will just be a mess. So I was using alcohol as a way to cope. Then I said no, because I was getting into that stage where I was now an alcoholic. Now I'm getting addicted. I can't live without it, because sitting with my emotions, sitting with my feelings, sitting with how I was, the physical symptoms didn't just sit right with me. So you resort to, if you're someone who, smokes, you smoke. If you're someone who takes alcohol, you go and take alcohol. Then I sat down with myself, I asked myself, that was not the kind of life I wanted to live. So when I, after going to the hospital, I started, doing research about anxiety. I started gaining knowledge about anxiety. Make sure you have knowledge about anxiety, because you can be doing some behaviors unconsciously. You think that, you are just, you don't want to feel discomfort, but those are the same reasons why you are stuck with anxiety. So I started doing my research about anxiety. Then I realized I was using alcohol as a way to cope. I didn't want to feel whatever I was feeling. I didn't want to sit with the discomfort. So I resorted to alcohol. That's when I started, reducing my intake of alcohol. I started drinking when I needed to, when I wanted to have fun, when I was out with my friends, not because I was running away from something, not because I was avoiding a feeling. So if you're someone who is using alcohol to cope, that is not a good thing. That will keep you stuck with anxiety for a long time. So personally, I still do drink. I drink occasionally, when I'm going out, when I feel I need to drink. So some people will reach out to me like, hey Albright, is it really good for me? Is it really wise for me to continue drinking even though I feel worse afterwards? And I also used to feel that way. When at that moment when you're taking that alcohol, you don't feel... Actually, I felt happy. I felt happy because at that time, dopamine, a happy hormone, is being released. Now you feel excited. You're feeling, like you own the world and all that stuff. So the real anxiety happens when, the alcohol starts to die down, where you are now feeling nauseous. I used to feel fatigued, headaches. I was literally just tired, that they hang anxiety. So you kind of think, okay, if this anxiety is making me feel this way, should I quit? Let me tell you something. I feel like you are supposed to quit alcohol because of health reasons, because maybe, because of personal reasons, but not because you feel like alcohol is making your anxiety worse, because that's not the truth. Alcohol, when you take alcohol, or even caffeine, but let me talk about alcohol. When you take alcohol, there is some changes in your body, and because you are sensitized, you are bound to feel it more. You are bound to feel, someone who is struggling with anxiety is bound to feel exaggerated symptoms of anxiety because they are sensitized. It is not because anxiety, alcohol is exacerbating your anxiety. It is just because you are sensitized, and any change in your body, you feel it. And anxiety exaggerates symptoms, not because alcohol is bad or anything. Because if you avoid alcohol, I'm not talking to addicts, or I'm not telling anyone to go, you are being taken out of the sewer because you're drunk. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking to people who drink alcohol with balance. So when you're someone who loves taking alcohol, do not avoid because you feel like, it's making your anxiety worse. Because if you avoid alcohol today, tomorrow you'll avoid coffee. Now you'll start avoiding, certain foods. You'll avoid things in general, and now you will be in this cocoon. Now you can't take, you can't choose this, you can't take this, you can't do, no. If alcohol is your thing, if you enjoy alcohol, if you enjoy coffee, take them. Not because it's making anxiety worse. It's not making anxiety worse. Even if you are experiencing hang anxiety, it will always pass. Just allow whatever you feel, it will always pass. Everyone who takes alcohol experiences hangovers, but it always passes. It's just that someone who is sensitized is feeling exaggerated symptoms of anxiety. You get my point? And by the way, guys, I want to hear your opinions on, alcohol and anxiety. Do you feel like you don't feel anything when you take alcohol, or do you feel like it's making your anxiety worse? And what's your opinion? Do you feel like you should avoid alcohol when struggling with anxiety, or you should just continue taking it? Because me, I'm of the opinion that, alcohol has nothing to do with anxiety, and you should take it. Of course, with balance, you should take it, and it should not stop you. Anxiety should not stop you, from enjoying what you like. So I want to hear your opinions down below in the comment section. Tell me your opinion, yes or no, yes or avoid, and also state with a reason why you feel like you should avoid taking alcohol when struggling with anxiety. So to all the drinkers, anxiety has nothing to do with alcohol, except that you will feel bad, you will have the hang anxiety after the alcohol has died down. But with the same as with every other anxiety symptom, you just throw it under the anxiety umbrella, and you continue doing your life. I'm a firm believer that anxiety should not stop you from doing what you love. If you have watched up to this point, make sure to a thumbs up for this video, like this video, share this video to other people who may need it, subscribe because it helps the channel grow, and comment down below your opinions on alcohol and anxiety. If you want to work one-on-one with me, use this WhatsApp or this email to reach out to me. If you feel like you need to talk to me, if you feel like it is time to let go of the anxiety subject and get your life back from anxiety, use this WhatsApp or this email to reach out to me. Otherwise, let's meet on the next video.